This video is brought to you by Gladiator Concealment. Link in the description box below. What's up, guys? It's Michael and Kyle with AKM Tactical. We appreciate y'all watching. We want to take a few minutes today and give you our official after-action report for Fighting Pistol. We got back probably 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, somewhere around in there, and it was a big class. It was a really big class. It was like
57 people,
something like that. Yeah, 55, 57, something like that. Big class. It was in Camden. We found out a couple of days before we got there that Yeager himself was actually teaching it, and we ended up with Yeager, Jay Gibson, Don Numbers, and Tim Morse. So
had the A-team.
Had a pretty squared away crew. I think probably everybody that teaches there is good. Does a good job. No problems there. But that's kind of the ones I really wanted to learn from and meet. I would have been cool with anybody that teaches there, though, really. We took it in Camden, and Camden was pretty cool.
I'll say that, Camden is about the same size as Jonesboro, where we're from.
Yep.
And so in my mind, I was thinking, okay, Tennessee, Kentucky, Hazard County, Kentucky,
right.
Justified, methamphetamines.
Yeah, but it really was.
But no, it was nice.
Yeah.
Had nice roads, a nice Walmart. I know that sounds goofy to some of y'all,
Yeah.
but we got our
Walmart's kind of
half-ass Walmart. They had a nice Mexican restaurant in town,
really good.
Super nice, super good food for a good price.
Yep.
So Camden's nice, guys.
Yep.
It's a beautiful country too, man. Hills.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was really pretty up there.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go to SOE. We ran out of time. But next time we go.
Yeah, we're gonna check them out next.
We're gonna go by and check them out. So we kind of covered the where and the who and all that kind of stuff. We took the class in March, first part of March.
March 18th and 19th.
The weather was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was really good. It was like in the 60s and sunny, and the weather was just great.
Yeah.
It just was great. I love the weather. You put a little light jacket on in the morning. You took it off in the afternoon.
It had rained a little bit the days before.
Yeah.
So
it was a little muddy Saturday,
which gave us a good opportunity to vet our mags
Yeah.
because we were throwing mags in the mud.
Yeah, and it was funny. Like when I got on the line and got to my spot, I was standing in a little mud hole. Every time I dropped a magazine, because the mag comes out of the gun onto the ground.
Yeah.
Where does it go?
On the ground.
Out of the gun onto the ground.
Where does it go?
Out of the gun onto the ground.
But why? Wax on.
Wax on. Yep.
You'll get it when you take the class. Go take the class.
Yeah, you'll get that when you take the class. But every time I dropped a mag out of the gun
onto the ground
into the mud.
Yeah.
So every time it hit, it was like. So when I would reach down to pick up and I would feel to see if I had a round in the mag, it was just mud, and I'd kind of feel a bullet and I'd shove it in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing for me because it was a cool chance for me to get to kind of vet my gear and make sure my gun didn't mind mud.
By the way, guys, they also have a new range, and like you've probably seen the infamous one that's littered with
shotgun
shells and stuff. This one wasn't.
It was very clean.
It was very clean, very nice. Good little area.
I didn't even wear knee pads at all. I brought them, but I didn't wear them.
I did just to save my pants,
Yeah.
which I killed a pair of pants.
Yeah. So, why did we take the class? Well, first of all, we are shooters in that we love to shoot. We shoot a lot, but we had never had any formal training. And if you're going to carry a gun to protect yourself or anybody that you care about or people that you don't even know, you need to have some kind of formal training.
And your concealed carry class doesn't count, guys.
And that does not count.
I'm sorry.
Your 8-hour concealed carry class doesn't cover it.
We did. I will say though that my instructor was great, and we went far longer than it was a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
And he really wanted us to get some things. So there are I don't want to. I said that because I don't want to knock your concealed carry class because it's important. But anyways, it doesn't replace this kind of training. And guys, y'all know that we shoot a lot because you see us shooting all the time.
Yep.
We shoot anywhere from 200 to 400 rounds a month each. Yep. But we still realized, and even more so after we got finished with class, that we had some holes that we needed fixed, and we needed to pick up, we needed to be taught some things so we can take back and get the most bang for our buck out of those 200 to 400 rounds a month.
Yep. So in the class, the school has a motto: we teach good people to kill bad people.
Yeah.
And in the class, they go over things in categories. And it's mindset, tactics, skill, and gear.
In that order.
Now, there's a reason that it's in that order. We're going to kind of get into that in the video.
That's the order of importance.
Right, order of importance.
Mindset,
tactics, skill, and gear. Now, we're not going to go crazy with it because we paid for the information. You should too. Yeah. But we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So when we talk about gear, they didn't harp on gear. They just didn't.
5% of the class.
Yeah. Get a gun that works. Get a holster that holds it. Get a decent belt. They really didn't even go that deep into it. It was really more like get a gun that works, run quality ammunition through it, and make sure that it's going to work when you need it to. Yeah. That's really about it. I think I may have heard one time James say those Magpul mags for Glocks they're not that great. Just stick with factory mags. That was not even in class. That was I overheard him telling a student on the back there when I was charging mags. I heard him say that. So I mean that wasn't even something that they said in class. So when it comes to gear, they didn't care. Get a gun that works. And make sure it'll run what you need it to run.
Yeah, I mean, Jaeger has his own preference on holsters and stuff. And like they run NSR Tactical, Green Force Tactical, but in class, and we're just talking about the class right now, that really wasn't much of a topic of discussion. Nope. When I say 5%, I'm being generous.
Yeah, I mean, and he did say I have some like some mechanics and stuff like that. If anybody wants to run anything that I have, just get with me and I'll let you run it through the class.
Michael ran mechanic for like half a day.
Yeah, I ran probably about half of the day. I ran a TP9 SF Elite, but they didn't harp on gear. That's the least important thing because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. There's things that you should think about, but a gun is a gun, and if it works, rock on. Yeah. So, next thing was skill.
Which is funny, which is odd though, because our channel is very highly based on gear. Yeah, but I will say, and I don't want to get into too much detail about it because I don't want to take up too much time with it, but I think that there's an importance in what you use, and we give you our opinion based on what we have seen that works and what's proven. And when we say it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter as long as it works.
Right.
You get a pistol that doesn't work, then
that matters.
Then that's a expensive paperwork.
They didn't talk about stipple jobs. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. All right. So skill. They didn't really harp on skill.
10%.
Probably 10% of the class was skill. They kind of talked about how to grip your gun, how your sights should look at the front sight, prep the trigger, press it, and your follow through, trigger reset, things like that. If your grip was messed up on the line, they would stop you and fix your grip. If you were doing things in drills, in like close retention drills, things like that, if you weren't doing what they wanted you to do, they would stop you and correct you. But they didn't harp on skill. They didn't talk about both eyes, one eye. They didn't talk about all that because that's something that you're going to learn. And in the grand scheme of things, your skill is not necessarily what saves your life.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset and tactics thing. And if you use proper tactics, you get the skill that you need.
Guys, what's the shot percentage you think of like police involved shootings from like the police officer standpoint? It's like less than 30%.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that that's acceptable or like you should strive for a 30% hit rate. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is not. And this class is called fighting pistol. It's it's not surgical speed shooting. It's how to fight with a pistol. And what saves people's lives is the mindset and the tactics, so you can get rounds on target, even if you're shooting piss poor, which you probably will in a gunfight.
And I'm gonna give you something else to think about. In 10 years from now, nobody's gonna care what kind of gun you used or how many rounds you fired.
Yep.
They're gonna care whether you lived or died.
And you're gonna care whether you lived.
You're gonna care whether you're not gonna care in 10 years whether you shot them with a 500 Magnum or you shot them with a 22, whether you shot them with a
500 Magnum would make for a hell of a story.
But nobody, 500 Magnum might make a story, but in the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to care. It doesn't matter how many hits you can get in how many seconds in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about fighting for your life. And that's why when they talk about skill, they didn't harp on it.
What matters is that you stopped the person who is intent on doing you and your family harm. You stopped him before he could do what he wanted to do.
That's right. That's right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about tactics. Probably.
Okay, so I've been breaking this down in my head. I've been doing the math. I would say 30%.
Probably about 30%. Yeah. Probably about 30% on tactics. Tactics was one of those things that
we know nothing about.
We knew nothing about. Yeah. We thought we knew a little, but we figured out we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
The way that they teach you how to do things, and you need to go to a class without any kind of expectations as far as going to show them what you know.
With an open mind.
Yeah, you should have an open mind because you need to get there acting like you don't know how to run a gun at all. So they can show you what they want to show you, then you can take from that and do what you want with it.
And think about it like this. All right, I'm a nurse, so that's where I have my education, my training, my experience, right? Okay. These guys are firearms instructors, okay? So you're like, all right, so try to picture this. Somebody comes in the hospital and I'm doing something with nursing. I'm throwing in an NG tube or I'm giving an IV push, and they stop and they tell me, why are you doing it this way? I would do it like this.
That's right.
But they have no experience at all.
That's right.
Why would you come to a class where this is their world, this is their expertise, this is where Jaeger's got 20 plus years of experience, and say, but I do it this way?
Yep.
Homie, he doesn't give a dang how you do it, because this is how he does it, because this is what works for him and works for every 60,000 students he's trained. So when they say wax on and go take the class, wax on.
Yep. And so when it comes to tactics, they showed us what to do with a lot of different things. Shooting from behind cover, fighting on the ground,
which is a big one.
Which was huge for us.
How many of y'all fight on the ground?
Yeah. I've taken a knee, things like that. But actually, on my back, fighting on the ground was something that I'd never really done.
And look, guys, as a big boy, you gotta, if you go to fight from a sit-up position, that's not. Is it comfortable?
No,
it ain't comfortable.
No, and it's not as easy to get up. You see them. I would see them skinny guys on the line be like, whoop, and I was like, I got to kind of put a hand back and push myself up. But it's an eye opener. It's an eye opener. Well, you're not quite as big as me, so but it's an eye opener. It makes you stop and think. I might need to make some life changes here.
Yeah.
But as far as tactics, they taught you what you need to know. And the thing about tactics, if you use the proper tactics, you learn the skill that you need.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a good for instance. We talk about skill not mattering that much. If you ever think about an 80-something-year-old woman, you've read stories before of some 80-something-year-old woman or man or whoever that some guys broke in her house and they killed 2 guys with a 5-shot J-frame at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was mindset and tactics. Now he might not have had proper trained tactics, but they still used the right tactics.
Yeah, and they had that mindset where like, I've lived my life, I don't give a dang, you are not taking my whatever.
Yeah. So tactics are, like you said, they covered about 30% of what was there. But they're important. They're definitely more important than skill and gear. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about mindset. I would say, just to keep it at 100%, 55% of it was mindset. It was so important, and that's the reason it's at the top. It's the most important thing that you can have. And we have always talked about mindset here on the channel, but we didn't know anything really. We did, but not really. At the grand scheme of things, it changed the way I looked at things.
I think our mindset prior to taking this class was better than 99% of, sheeple.
Yeah.
When I say sheeple, I just mean the general population.
Yep.
But it did open my eyes to several things.
Yep.
And Jaeger will say in his videos, and then he said it in class, is that, if I tell somebody I'm going to give a 3-hour lecture for free, nobody's showing up.
Yep.
If I tell people that, we're going to take you to the range, shoot 1,000 rounds, and, do a little lecture here and there, then people are going to pay for it and people are going to come. But the reason he tells people that is, the reason he does the range part is mainly to get them in there so they can get the mindset lecture, which is the most important. Now, don't get us wrong. Like, I enjoy, the most enjoyable part is the range.
Yeah.
I mean, because who doesn't like to go pew pew?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the last day, before I got there, I was all nervous about shooting in front of other people and, just stupid stuff. But, I wanted to do more drills.
Yep.
I wanted to get out there and, shoot some more. But with that being said, the lectures itself were worth the price of admission.
Yep, absolutely.
Every bit of it.
Absolutely. There's things that he's gonna, or they. Let's say he, because James did the lectures, but there's things that they're going to teach you about mindset that you never even remotely thought of, or you thought you might have knew but you didn't know. And I don't want to go into detail about it because we paid for the class. You should too. But
and we don't want to rob you of that.
And we don't want to rob you of that because it's such an eye-opening moment.
Light bulb moment.
Yeah, it's like Ben said when we interviewed Ben. The booklet that he gives us is like 40-something pages long, and then he took like 12 pages of notes on top of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information that's just stuff you need to know.
And that's another thing, guys. I was just soaking it up, and I'm a note taker. For example, one time in nursing school, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, but when I was in nursing school, I went to this rehab program, and this rehab program had a lecture. And they were lecturing to the people in the program about ways to improve, to improve your addiction. And it was like everything that they were saying there applied to life in general, whether you're an addict or not. I took notes on it. I had like 2 or 3 pages of notes. Mm-hmm. Same thing in this class, guys. I was just taking notes, and taking notes, not only it helps commit things to memory, but also you're not going to remember everything. There's no way you're not going to remember it. So before we did this video, it's been like 2.5 weeks since we took the class. Yeah. Before we did the video, I went over my after action report that I had written up to post on the Attack Response website to just jog my memory. Yep. I've got notes in here of stuff I need to get for the range and stuff, so we can perform some of those drills that we learned in class. Yep. Because if not, you forget it. And another thing he mentioned in class is that whenever he said your money that you pay for this class, that money that you pay is a down payment to a vehicle.
Yep.
Look at it like this: a down payment to a car. And if you keep making payments on that car, eventually it's going to be yours outright. So what that means is, if the class is your down payment, then you going back home and practicing what you were trained, those are the payments that you're making. And eventually, if you do that enough repetitions, enough time spent, then you get to keep that, and you'll have that skill set. Yep. And that's a huge reason to go to a class and take notes, and to come in with an open mind. Not that you know anything, right. That you're there to learn. And if you don't go there with that mindset, I'm not talking about the martial, fighting that mindset. I'm talking about the I'm open to student, learn. The student mindset. If you not come there with that that mindset of I'm here to learn, I'm going to be a sponge,
you're wasting your money.
And well, I won't say you're wasting your money. You are selling yourself short. You're not going to get what you should out of the class. And people that are worried about their shooting or worried about not being self-conscious, they're robbing themselves of of valuable information that they could be taken in.
And just to throw this out there, this handout that they give you is awesome. It's awesome.
It's been sitting on my coffee table since I got back.
I'm not a note taker. I never have been, but it gives you a full outline of the lectures, so I can go back to that outline and look at it and read it, and it jogs my memory of things that was said. So I mean, I'm not a note taker, but I use notes to remember.
And a good portion of this book is like real life examples and stories.
And that stuff was awesome. Like I wish they would make a book about 3 times this thick. I would read it cover to cover in probably 2 days. The lectures, the mindset portion of the class was bomb, and it was killer. It is worth every penny of what you paid, even paying for the ammo, the trip, everything.
And we really lucked out because, to me, like that was a perfect setup. We had Jay, Don, and Tim on the line at the range, and then we had Jaeger doing the lecture.
The classroom.
Yeah,
the guy that wrote it all.
Yeah, which that was freaking awesome. And actually, at the range, like Jaeger would inject every once in a while. But for the most part, dude, that guy just was a host.
Yep.
Like he just walked around, making sure everybody was good, telling jokes, cracking people up, and answering questions. And I think so. We've covered those bases of class. I think we can kind of move to this part and like just talk about them in general. Like, those guys over there impressed the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. I realized that James Jaeger can be controversial. Like, there's people have varying opinions on him. I mean, my brother, like he gave his crap, constantly gave his crap before class. I filmed a little bit of Michael at the range shooting. He was like, "Why didn't you film it down range?" Stuff like that. But let me tell you this, guys. Like, those dudes care.
Yep.
That's what they do. They're not there for a paycheck.
Nope.
I won't say that they would do it for free because everybody's got to live.
Yep.
But like Don Numbers, Don's a super nice guy. If we do not keep our head up when we were reholstering all, like Don, he got his feelings hurt.
Don is a super nice guy, but Don could be a beast mode savage when he had to be.
Yeah, he's like a bear.
Yeah,
he looks cuddly and stuff, and he's pretty docile most of the time.
But when he gets tuned up, he's tuned up for real. But yeah, the class was top notch. They were top notch. Don't go if you don't like cuss words, because they're gonna say ugly words. That's just the way that it is.
And let me explain that to the viewers. If you've ever been in a football locker room, and I mean playing on a team, if you ever played organized sports with dudes, or if you've been in the military, you will completely get the cussing and all that. You understand?
The way that they talk to people in general.
Yeah, because you'll have been there before. But for those of you that never have, honestly, it's like when you're a freshman and you're on the football team, and the seniors rag you and give you some crap and kind of bully you a little bit. In today's society, it's bullying, whatever. But they're doing it to, it's almost like a camaraderie thing, and they wouldn't do it to you if they didn't think you could handle it. Yep. And actually, in class, you'll notice, I'll tell you a little story from class. There was a sign, there was written on the board, move up. Sit all the way to the front when we first got there. We got there kind of early, so it said fill in the seat in front of you. Fill it up, move to the front. So I like to fly below the radar, man. I like to sit at the back of the class, sit at the back of the church,
right.
Kind of just fly below the radar. Well, I wasn't able to do that, so I was sitting front and center. And the first day, like Jaeger was, calling on me, let me get up, take off my jacket, cracking jokes and stuff. But there was a guy next to me, and he was trying to do that with him, but he quickly realized, like,
yeah, dude wasn't about it.
Yeah, he wasn't about that. So, and actually the next day the dude was almost all in the back. Yeah. But, you know, he could really tell, like, who he could talk to a certain way and who he couldn't. There was a female in the range that, you know, they were different with her than they were with us. It was different for every person. But, in general, yes, there is a lot of cursing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, if that bothers you, you know, you need to go somewhere else, I guess.
I'm sure there's some godly dudes, like, that, you know, mind their P's and Q's that can teach you how to fight with a pistol.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, guys, it was great. I don't really know. I have nothing bad to say about it.
And I think it's a necessary, needed class for you guys.
Too. Yep, I do too. I think it's one of those things that you need to go ahead and do it and just
if you want to. Like I said, you got to come in with the right mindset. But I'm telling you guys, if 90% of our subscribers went and took that class, which I know you won't. 90% of our subscribers won't watch the video necessarily, but if just a small portion of you guys that watch this video go and take that class, like, I will be thrilled.
Yep.
Because I know that you will go there and you're going to get instruction that can help save your life.
Well, and it'll make you, not only will it make you a better shooter, but it'll make you a better person. It'll make you somebody that's easier to deal with, somebody that doesn't get so upset about things. And you may already be that kind of person, but if you're not, it will make you be that way. It really will. And they teach you how to fight and how to win, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't want you to fight. They're trying to keep you from fighting.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Things that you think, well, you're going to go in there and take this pistol class and this gunfighting class, and you're going to learn, you're going to be like, I can go anywhere now because I can fight with a gun. No, it makes you stop and think, maybe I don't need to go there. Maybe this is a place I shouldn't be that I normally am because I don't want to have to use my gun.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And like I said, I don't want to get into any details because, you know, we paid for it and you should too, but go take the class.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is we'd be doing you a disservice if, like, you tuned into this video to think you were going to get, you know, all the information from us, because, like, we can't give it to you.
Yep.
We can't teach you.
Yep.
You know, you got to go and you got to get that instruction, and it doesn't have to be from them.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a reputable, you know, solid instructor that's safe, just get some training, because, you know, even if you're law enforcement or military, you still need training.
Yep.
So,
you got anything else, man?
No, man. We will be back.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we will let you know when we go back.
Yep.
We'll make announcements on the channel or whatever, so some of y'all can attend. There was and if you watched the video with Ben, we told you that three subscribers came and took the class with us. One of them wasn't previously a subscriber. He actually found us when he was researching a fighting pistol, and so he subscribed to us. But two of them, you know, had already been watching the channel. So, you know, Troy, Ben, and Fogel.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah,
It was awesome taking it with y'all.
Yeah.
Troy, I wish we would have got to interview you, man. Rocking your MMPs from Appendix.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the, you know, the rare ones.
Yeah, he was running Appendix.
But anyways, cool guys. Fogel's a nice guy. He had another dude with him that was a pretty good shooter too.
Yep.
Younger guy.
Surfer looking dude.
Yeah, I didn't get his name, but anyways.
Guys, I guess one last thing, and then we'll let y'all have this video. But being a part of that alumni.
Yeah, that's important.
That's important to talk about. When you finish the class, they go through a whole spiel, like it's kind of like a little graduation where you get your certificate and all this kind of stuff. But they talk about being a part of that family, and it is a family. And if you don't believe that, if you watch enough Jaeger videos, you will see him helping people that are alumni. That is a very close knit group, and it's
of 60,000.
Of 60,000 plus, and it's an honor to be part of that family now. I feel, and I mean, it was 50 of us, 50 plus in that class, and I feel like if I needed something, I could email him and say, hey, I'm an alumni, this is what I got going on. And he would do his best to help.
Yeah, and here's what it is, man. He's built a network over 20 years of training.
Yep.
And you know, guys, you guys out there, you subscribers, like, one reason that we love doing what we do is because y'all are like-minded individuals. Like, y'all are solid people.
Yep.
If you're into like the stuff that we're into, I'm not trying to say we try to be, we work hard to be good people. We try to be salt of the earth type people.
Yep.
And y'all are that way. And the people that go and spend their money to learn how to be responsible and how to take care of their families, those are good men and women.
Yep.
And you know, he's built a network over the years with all those people. And I mean, that's a pretty big group to be able to tap into when somebody needs something.
Yep.
Recently, an alumni's wife was murdered. Yeager did a video on it, and they raised some money.
Yep.
So, and I kind of look forward to kind of being able to contribute too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if somebody needs something or donating here or there, just as a way to give back. And, you know, another awesome thing is we can go take Fighting Pistol at any time for half price now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's there. We can go take that class for $250.
Yeah. Boom.
I will be doing it.
Absolutely. Anyways, you got anything else, man?
No, brother.
Guys, as always, we appreciate y'all watching. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can jump over to our Facebook page. We can always get into a more in-depth conversation there. We will also leave links to all of our social media outlets in the description box below. But as always, guys, we appreciate y'all watching, and y'all be safe.